Are the cuffs? The cuffs aren't tight, are they? No. All right.
That's Donna Adelson in the back of a sheriff's transport van to face charges for the murder of Dan Markel. I take a look at what happened and why Donna Adelson's trial is now delayed as a mysterious new investigation comes to light.
We conducted this investigation and followed that investigation to its conclusion.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. There's something going on in Donna Adelson's case in Tallahassee, and prosecutors and her defense attorneys are being really careful when discussing it in court. It involves a new investigation and wiretaps. We know that much from a hearing this week. And there's also talk of jailhouse snitches. And now Donna Adelson's trial, which had been scheduled for June, is on hold. I'm going to get to the recent hearing and what was said shortly, and we'll have Joel Waldman from the Surviving the Survivor podcast on to talk about these new developments. But first, a quick recap on the case. Donna Adelson is a 75-year-old grandmother from Miami who's charged with conspiring with her son, Charlie Adelson, to murder her ex-son-in-law, Dan Markel. Charlie Adelson is already serving life without parole for his role in Markel's murder. He was convicted of hiring hitmen to kill Markel, using his ex-girlfriend, Catherine Magbanois, as a go-between. Those hitmen were Latin Kings gang member Luis Rivera and Sigfredo Garcia, who was the father of Magbanois' children. Now, Donna Adelson, she says she didn't participate in a conspiracy to murder Dan Markel, and she didn't commit any crimes. But prosecutors believe they can prove that Donna Adelson conspired with Charlie to hire these people to kill Dan Markel, so the children that Markel shared with Wendy Adelson could move with Wendy from Tallahassee to Miami. Dan Markel was not going to give up custody of his sons. He's been described over and over again as a devoted and doting father, along with being a law professor. And get this, Wendy Adelson and Donna's husband, Harvey Adelson, prosecutors have called them unindicted co-conspirators publicly. Later on, we'll go through that body camera footage of Donna being transported from Miami to Tallahassee in 2023. But first, let's get to what happened at this week's hearing. When Donna Adelson's attorneys started saying they've received 100,000 emails that they need to go through.
What has come out about 3 weeks ago is the state conducted this additional investigation into allegations. As part of that, they obtained additional records. We also learned approximately 2 weeks ago during Investigator Newland's deposition that the state had not given us materials that had been given to prior counsel. So we've been asked to trust without the ability to verify. And in fact, months ago, I asked the state for a list of the materials, everything that they had, everything that Corbett had, so that we knew if we had received everything. And they did not provide that to us. So now we have received, from the materials we received over the last few weeks, it appears to be over 100,000 emails. We have purchased 3 pieces of software in addition to the software that we used previously, trying to...
Is this to sort through or sift the emails?
Some of it's to open it, some of it's to sort through. Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
None of them are very effective at doing that. So we've actually engaged a e-discovery platform to assist us, but that hasn't even been set up yet. That was a decision that we made last night after trying the additional piece of software yesterday.
Knowing who is in your life is really important, and that's why having something like truthfinder.com available can be so valuable. Truthfinder is one of the largest public record search services out there. It's really great because it will show you a person's past and current addresses, phone numbers, social media accounts, and of course, criminal and traffic records. So if you want to try Truthfinder, you can get 50% off of confidential background reports. Just log on to www.truthfinder.com/LCCrimeFix. Log on and start accessing information about almost anyone. And the conversation involved a motion to compel filed by Donna Adelson's attorneys, and it relates to evidence that they wanted and it involves a new investigation and wiretaps.
Looking at the reply and the motion to compel, all of the things that they are requesting here as far as the minimization instructions, all the logs, all of those things, I feel once the order to unseal has been signed, those can all be disclosed. The only thing that I saw that would be additional that they are asking for is surveillance video, which is surveillance video from the jail, which I've been told has already been disclosed to the defense. They also asked for the financial records that are mentioned in the application. I was told that we subpoenaed Harvey Adelson's Zelle account. I found that those Zelle records and had it sent to the defense this afternoon. So once those items are unsealed and they can be disclosed to the defense, that should be all of the discovery that pertains to the wire.
Please provide the order. Has the defense been able to take a look at it?
No, sir. Let me show them what I have, and if I need to change anything, I'll be happy to.
So right there, you heard Sarah Dugan talk about Harvey Adelson's Zelle records and the wiretap. Let me tell you something about wiretaps. A judge will not approve a wiretap unless police have shown they can't get the evidence any other way. The defense then discussed when the wiretap ended.
Your Honor, there was one issue that Ms. Dugan and I addressed concerning the motion and order, and it has to do with the discrepancy with Investigator Newland's memorandum, the 17-page memorandum. The memorandum that he authored indicated that the wire went down February 24th. Ms. Dugan is telling me that the wire actually went down on February 21st. So if we can just make sure that that's accurate.
Yes, this is one of the paragraphs in the defense's reply. That was just a mistake on the memo. The wire came down on the 21st. I believe the significance of the 24th was that was when the order was signed, and I think Mr. Newland's memo said the 24th, but it is the 21st, which is reflected in the order the court's looking at now.
So prosecutor Sarah Dugan said that the wiretap came down on February 21st, and you would only get a wiretap on someone who's not in custody. The police and prosecutors can listen to Donna Adelson's jail calls anytime they want, but the unindicted co-conspirators, no, they can't do that anytime. So whose calls were they listening to? We don't know, but Dugan talked a little bit about this investigation.
There is obviously this new discovery from this lead that the state was alerted to last fall. We conducted this investigation and followed that investigation to its conclusion. That obviously has resulted in some new discovery in these wire calls, but I did want to let the court know, though there are a large number of calls that the defense, of course, wants to review, there are only, I was told, about 30-something calls deemed pertinent by law enforcement, and the state likely plans to only use maybe one or two at trial, and believes that the 2 months the defense had from the time it was discovered to the time of trial in June should be sufficient to prepare for that portion of the trial.
Do any of the calls that you intend to use from this recent investigation go to privileged matters or encapsulate calls with counsel?
Thank you. I wanted to address that. There are no calls that were recorded between the defendant, Donna Adelson, and attorneys in this case. I specifically asked the investigator about that before the hearing.
Donna Adelson's attorneys say they won't be ready for her murder trial next month because they now have 32 hours of wiretapped phone calls to listen to.
And although the state believes that we're going to have enough time, I calculated this. There are over 32 hours of calls that were captured on that wire. And given the amount of materials that we have just been handed, we have not had an opportunity to review even 2 hours of those calls up to this point. Your Honor, just because the state believes that there's going to be enough time for us to prepare, and it's not 2 months, it's more like 6 weeks. There's not enough time for us to to analyze this new information, synthesize it, prepare appropriate motions. We've spent the last 3 weeks dealing with this as opposed to finalizing the motions in limine.
That is an important point you bring up. Essentially, between what has been recently investigated and what the charges have been of murder, solicitation, and conspiracy from the time your client is charged, there are essentially two different pots, if you will. For the motions that the deadline was today as to the murder, solicitation, and also the last count as well, are those motions completed?
No, Your Honor, we've only had an opportunity to finish 2 additional motions that have not yet been filed, and I have not had an opportunity, because we had to adjourn Investigator Newland's deposition, to finish the Franks motion.
So right now, Donna Adelson's trial is on hold. So to talk about all of this, I want to bring in Joel Waldman. He is the host of the Surviving the Survivor podcast on YouTube. Joel, I was a little bit shocked the other day when I started hearing in the hearing about this new investigation that started last fall. They've got wiretaps, 32 hours worth of calls. So something's going on, but they're trying to be really careful about how they discuss this. So what did you think when you heard about this?
Well, Angenette, first of all, thank you for having me. And secondly, you are not the only one who was surprised. I mean, I think we were all taken aback. The hearing was midweek, and it was scheduled to be a hearing to get the trial continued. It seems like every trial out there right now is being continued. So throw the Dan Markel and Adelsons into the mix as well. And essentially what the defense was saying is, hey, we got all this new discovery. So prior to the hearing, we had heard that they got like 85,000 new emails. That was like the number being bandied about. And then Josh Zellman, who is now the 4th or 5th, because she has 2 new attorneys of Donna Adelson's defense attorneys, he, in front of Judge Everett, said, look, we just got 100,000 new basically pieces of digital forensic evidence, which he alluded to were mostly emails that he had to go through. So he's asking for a continuance. But then as the hearing went on, it was a 34-minute hearing, so it wasn't overly long.
Right.
They basically informed the public through the court that there was a new investigation on top of this discovery dump with these wiretap calls that you're talking about. And so that was more reason that they needed time to sift through everything. And immediately everyone's thinking, wait, this happened back in 2014, 2025, and now there's a brand new investigation that was started in the fall. So something's going on.
Yeah, something is definitely going on. Sarah Dugan said they got the information in the fall. And I think it's important to point out that a court only approves wiretaps if law enforcement lays out in an affidavit that they can't get the evidence any other way. And with a wiretap, you can't just continuously listen. You have to log on at certain times. And apparently it's very strict about how you can listen. And so who are they listening to? And is it about this investigation? Sarah Dugan says there's 1 or 2 calls that they would use at Donna's trial. So obviously it relates to the murder investigation. Donna's in custody. I'm assuming these aren't her calls, because if they were jail calls, they can listen to those anytime they want.
Yeah, Angenette, these are amazing points that you're making, and I'm glad that you are. So these are what are known as Title III wiretaps. And for full disclosure, I am not an attorney, but I guess I play one on YouTube, or at least a host.
Same.
So I had a former LA prosecutor of the year who was actually, I believe, on Law&Crime, Josh Ritter. He was on my show last night, and he told me in his entire yeah, he's great. But he was telling me in his entire tenure in the LA prosecutor's office, he was never able to obtain a Title III wiretap. That's how hard they are to get. But in this
Really
case,
hard.
as you suggested, they were able to get these wiretaps. And to your point, Donna Adelson was and remains in custody in Leon County, which is where Tallahassee is. And so all they'd have to do with Donna is listen to these recorded jailhouse calls that are all recorded. So the implication or the intimation here is that they've got the goods on other parties possibly involved in this conspiracy, which then leads one to ask the question, could it be Harvey, who is Donna's husband? More importantly to a lot of people, could it be Wendy, Dan Markel's ex-wife? And then just a couple on to what I'm saying, we've got Tim Jansen on our show all the time. He's a criminal defense attorney out of Tallahassee, and he's been there for 40 years and knows a lot of people. And this entire time that I've covered this case, which is the better part of 3 years, he has always said, well, I don't think Wendy's getting indicted. Well, I don't think Wendy's getting indicted. On our last show, he said the tenor has changed. Now he knows people. He's talked to people. Exactly what Tim knows, he's not going to tell me. But we played that soundbite on my show last night. Something is going on, and maybe it has to do with Wendy. Time's going to tell.
And just to be clear, Wendy Adelson has testified in all of these trials and said that she and her family had nothing to do with a conspiracy to murder Dan Markel. But Wendy and Harvey have also been called unindicted co-conspirators in this case. So I just want to make it clear. That's where we stand right now, at least publicly. But I found it very curious, Joel, about how cagey they were being about this whole thing at that hearing. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out. And I think we just have to really keep a close eye on the discovery and what's going to be filed and what we can get our hands on. Don't you think?
Absolutely. What one real quick thing, Angenette, people are saying, well, are they going to arrest Wendy? Are they going to arrest Wendy? Well, they need Wendy for Donna's testimony.
Yeah, so, they wouldn't do it until after the trial. That's how that's been their pattern. They wait until the next trial.
Yeah, 100%. So it's a fascinating case with a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah. But I do want to reiterate, Wendy Adelson has not been charged with a crime, and neither has Harvey. I just want to reiterate that point right now. We'll keep an eye on it, though. Thank you, Joel Waldman.
Thank you.
So let's get back to October 2023, when Donna Adelson was first arrested. Police moved in on her at the Miami International Airport.
Hi, how are you? You have an ID? Yes. Recognize me? Yeah. You're under arrest for your cell phone. No, I don't want to give it to you. Why do I have to give this? My attorney said not to. Why do I have to give it to you? This is evidence. Evidence. She's under arrest. I have to go with. I have to go. I have to look at your. Let me help you out. No, I have to stay. Please don't do this. Don't stay. You need to grab the bags. Take the bags. Yeah. And you need to wait outside. Okay.
My husband's almost 80 years old. He can't
Yeah,
come
I
with
can't.
me?
Please, can I help?
No, you can't join me there.
Oh, don't do this, please.
Please.
Oh,
Someone's
God.
got to help him get home. This is terrible. You can't do this. This is insane.
Hold on to that for me.
Is that okay with you?
Please. You don't have to have the handcuffs on. She's not going anywhere. Please. Please. You have anything in your pocket?
No, no.
Do you have anything of value in you?
No,
Does she have a necklace on? You
Wanna
can
go?
take the
My-
necklace. I'll take
Yeah, take it off. Yeah.
And the earrings.
And the earrings, the rings, take everything. You give it to your husband. Because once you arrive at County Jail, they're going to make you remove all that.
Donna Adelson was getting ready to board a flight to Vietnam with her husband, Harvey. They had one-way tickets. Adelson was booked into the jail in Miami, and then she appeared in court, but she had to be taken to Leon County to face charges. That's a 7-hour drive up the Florida Turnpike from Miami to Tallahassee. The sheriff's office wasn't going to put Donna Adelson on a plane to get her to Leon County. It wasn't that long of a trip. So they put her in the back of a prisoner transport van.
All right. All right, come on up. Watch your step getting on this van. Take your time. I got you. Well, there you go. I got you. Step right there. There you go. Take your time. Watch your head. Watch your step. You good? Yeah? All right. Wherever you sit.
Wherever you want to sit now.
You got 8 seat belts on this van. Strap into any one of them. All right? I don't care which one you do it. Just make sure you strap into one. Pick any one. If it's that one, it's going to be on the other side. Look to your right. There you go. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, that was just before noon on November 20th, 2023. Sitting in the back of one of those vans, it has to be really uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to it. Who would be? After 5 p.m., another deputy grabs his body-worn camera and goes to the back of the van. This is more than 5 hours later.
Okay. How the cuffs? The cuffs aren't tight, are they? No. All right. Let's do this right here. Loosen up cuffs.
You try to. Oops, okay. All right. Take your time. Let's see if this will help out a little bit.
Donna Adelson is obviously having some kind of issue. The deputies get something for her to drink.
I got you. Take your time. Take your time. Some more water? You think you might be able to use the rest? You think that might help?
Go ahead and tell them to have EMS from out check out.
Alright.
We're gonna have a check out.
Alright.
We're gonna have EMS come and check you out, okay? Ms. Adelson. Yes, ma'am. I don't want nothing to happen to you. I want to make sure you're all right. I don't know what's going on right now. Yeah. Are you familiar? Have you ever felt like this before, ma'am? This is just an uncomfortable ride.
So communicate, but I was calling, answer.
Okay.
Now, it seems like Donna Adelson is kind of freaked out. She said she was calling and no one answered.
Space on your ankles right there. What exactly are you feeling?
My hands are like frozen in this position.
Yeah, well, you say they're frozen, but, yeah, but they're extremely warm.
I don't mean like the position.
Yeah.
And not the temperature.
Okay, not the temperature. All right. Okay. Just want to make sure. Well, we call it EMS. We're going to get you checked out and find out what's going on. Think if we step outside, that'll help? You don't know? Okay. All right. Can you sting your leg out? Is that a possible? Okay. Like this. Yeah. We'll have the MS come. You might be having some anxiety right now.
Eventually, EMTs arrive and they tend to Donna Adelson for a time, and then they get her out of the back of the transport van and get ready to take her to the hospital. She's treated there, and eventually she's released. And then she arrives at the Leon County Jail.
Come on. Take your time coming out the van. Watch your step. Watch your head. Make sure you step on the. There you go. All right. Good. Just go with sides. Just hold on the side. Good.
Donna Adelson has been in the Leon County Jail since November of 2023, and now a new trial date has not yet been set for her, but when they do set that new trial date, we'll let you know when it could be. It might be in the fall. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.